Relax. It's ASMR. Hello, everyone. Well, today's video is going to be a bit of a task video, working with this stainless steel mug that I recently bought. And I washed it in the dishwasher, which I think you're supposed to do, and it revealed that it has like a coating over the top of it. I scrubbed away a lot of it here on this surface, but I still have some to do right here, all the way around the ring on the bottom, some to do here at the bottom of the mug, some on the handle, and then you can really kind of see it in there, all on the inside, so that I can use this mug to drink out of. And it's really nice and solid. And I made the mistake of putting hot tea in it. And this stainless steel is exceedingly excellent at conducting heat. And I could not pick up the mug for a long time. I think the mug actually got hotter than the tea because it was extracting all of the heat out of the tea. So the tea was drinkable, but the mug was not touchable, which was a very interesting science experiment I didn't even mean to do. So I have some Barkeeper's Friend here, and a little bit of water, and just a wash rag to help me clean this up. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to do it. I just need to dampen this a bit, dab it into here to pick up some, kind of make a paste out of it. I'm going to start here at the bottom, just kind of gently start to scrub away at this coating. I really like this mug because it's really hefty. It has a nice weight to it. It is not cheaply made. It is not hollow in the handle. I think it is handmade. Or very extremely well made from a factory. I bought it from a store in St. Augustine that specialized in handmade goods, so that's what makes me think it may be actually handmade on like a lathe or I don't know how you would do something like this, but maybe some laser cutters. That sounds like a pretty modern way that this would happen. I can feel when I have scrubbed it off because it feels nice and smooth when I rub the dish towel over it. I'm not feeling a rough patch. You can see it came off a little bit there. To make sure I get in the corner here. Well, I have gotten all my Christmas shopping done, and I have shot a Christmas present wrapping video. But sometimes videos just do not want to get made, and everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong while I was shooting that video. The most annoying thing that happened was that my stomach decided to be very, very loud while I was shooting. And that made me very upset. So I was not very calm while I was shooting that video. So I I think that will stay on the cutting room floor, just the whole thing. They don't all make it to YouTube. Most of them do. But sometimes you just have to realize it's not going to happen. Move on. So, let me get just some water here. Just wipe out the inside. And see what it looks like. Much better. It does leave some little scratches on it, so I am trying to do as circular a motion as I can on the areas that are going to show. So now let's do the base here. Slowly kind of work through the layers of this coating. Getting into all the nooks and crannies is the difficult part. And trying to make little circular motions here on this small lip of this base. I'm trying not to make dad jokes right now. Things like, it's all about the bass. Or when are they going to release the song, it's all about the acid. But I'll refrain since I'm sure none of you laughed. I didn't even laugh. So, I think we're getting there. Maybe a little bit more water. So like I said, Christmas shopping is done. I had a scare with COVID a few weeks ago. Some friends of ours came down with it unexpectedly. I don't remember if I've talked about that or not. So I had to wait the requisite time before I got tested, and luckily did not have it. And luckily my friend has gotten better and her family, so that turned out pretty well. I do have some family members who are struggling with COVID at the moment, so I am keeping them in my prayers, but so far they also seem to be under the weather and not doing great, but not doing as badly as they could. So I'm grateful for that. I have distributed most of my 3D printed dumpster fires that I showed in another video. I was able to get them to all of my coworkers who greatly appreciated it. That was good to hear and see. I was trying to distribute them while I was isolated from COVID, so I had to make some arrangements for another coworker to help me out, which she graciously did. So it did not stop all of that in its tracks. So I've got a few more to give out, but it's been a lot of fun seeing everybody's reaction to it. Some people are making Christmas ornaments out of them, and that was clever. I hadn't really even thought of that when I made them, but in hindsight it's kind of obvious. So I think that would be kind of a neat thing to pull out every year to remember what 2020 was like. Maybe in 30, 40 years, they'll be telling their grandchildren or their great-grandchildren all about how we survived this terrible year. And hopefully about how we've become better people for it. How we learned some important lessons. That has yet to be seen. I think there's some things that every generation needs to kind of relearn. Because that's just the way humans are sometimes. You can talk to them and warn them, but unless they experience it themselves, doesn't quite hit home sometimes. Reminds me of that photo of that marker on a hill in Japan that's really, really old, basically telling future generations not to build below that point because it will flood. I think it floods like every 100 years or so. We need more signs like that, I think. And more people to heed them. So, this part is a little stubborn right here under the handle. So I hope your holidays are going as well as can be expected in these circumstances. I hope you have the ability to at least have contact with the people you want to speak to during the holidays, if not in person, then online or something like that. I think once this whole thing is behind us and we are back to some sort of reality in which we can be present with one another without a whole lot of caveats, and I think there's going to be a whole lot of partying going on. People have had to put their social lives on hold, their dating lives on hold. I think we may have another little baby boom coming our way. in the next few years. Okay. Let's wipe this off here. See how we did. Okay. Got a little bit right here. And just a few spots right here. Just slowly buff this out. Find the little spots. Take care of them. I think there's one right up here too. Polishing is generally not my jam. My wife loves to do it. I don't like sanding either. So I see people who take their 3D prints and sand them down and make them smooth. Don't know that I have that type of patience. Especially with small detail. Like sanding a table or something. You have a big sander you can apply to it. Is one thing. But little bitty details. Get to be annoying. Okay, I think that should be good. I think it needs to just be washed and polished. And we've got a good start there on the outside. Hopefully, just take the one pass with the polish. Okay, now we can do the inside, which you cannot see. So, just going to kind of see how easy this is to take off. Trying to get enough finger pressure on there. Okay, not too bad. Shouldn't be a problem at all. I keep vacillating back and forth about whether I should buy a gaming console or not. Most of the time, I don't think about it, but then something like the Cyberpunk game comes out, or I see a playthrough on Fallout 4 or Skyrim or something like that. And I suddenly want to immerse myself in that type of game. But then I'm like, when would I have time to play it? Or that would be the only thing I would do, and you guys wouldn't get videos anymore. So I'm content myself with watching the playthroughs. I have a few favorite channels that I think do a really good job of highlighting the game, and they aren't super annoying. It's about the game and not about them so much. What else has been going on? I have started writing again. I kind of took a year off after I did all of my master's thesis work. And now I'm writing for fun, not for academic grades. I've had a book that I've been working on and off for several years. I think I've talked about this before on my channel. And I had gotten to just start to write the first draft. And the computer crashed and took everything with it. This was in the early days of cloud computing. And I was foolish enough to trust all of my copies to the cloud. And they disappeared. So that was disheartening, to say the least. But I was able to rescue, like, the outline and a few bits and pieces here and there. So it's been bubbling in the back of my mind for a few years. But doing the master's degree got me back into the habit of writing and introduced me to some really good tools, some apps that are specifically designed for people who are writing books or keeping track of research and stuff like that. So I feel a lot more confident about keeping everything organized and having a few years to mull over the story. I think helps as well. It helps kind of get rid of all the last or spur of the moment ideas and all the fluff, and you kind of just remember and stick with the things that are really powerful. Or at least I hope that's the outcome. So right now I'm writing the history of how things came to be for my own reference, so that I can reference them in the story and be consistent, stuff like that. So anyway, that's been fun. I've been doing that the last 2 or 3 days. This is coming along quite nicely. Getting the very bottom of it is kind of tough. So I'm working with the character sketches in my brain and what their backstory is and how they got to where they are, which helps me clarify some points about the story that might not make sense if I was just writing it straight, like chapter 1, chapter 2, telling the story that way. I can't really get to the bottom of that. I'm going to have to get a stick or something to really get in there and get the gunk off the bottom. So it's helped me already kind of face some problems with the story, some inconsistencies or some questions that might arise in the reader's mind. And so then I have to solve those problems, like how did they get there, or what is the bad guy's motivation? It's not enough that he's just bad. He needs to have a reason why he acts the way he does. And it has to be a logical reason, not just a fairy tale reason of the big scary bad thing in the woods. Not that you will sympathize with this character. I hope you don't. He's pretty despicable. But combination of circumstances and character flaws that need to happen to bring him to where I can write about him. So I did that today. And then my next task is to write the history and the story of one of the main characters, who's a good character, and her motivation and why she's doing what she's doing, and her similarities to the bad character and her dissimilarities to the bad character. So it's been good to get back into that. Well, I think we're about 80% there. There's still a few pieces in the inside that I need to get to, but I need to really bear down on them and scrub on them hard. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been relaxing. Please consider subscribing if you haven't, and liking this video. When I get a little further in my writing, I may share some. I'm not sure yet. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.